The Boys is an amazing show for many different reasons, like having great characters that dissect and tackle childhood trauma or severe PTSD with great storytelling about how capitalism has corrupted the world. But what often doesn't seem to get talked about enough is just the comedy and humor of the show. They have so many hilarious moments within all of these horrible situations with great comedic timing, like this one scene with Homelander.
So what, they're all starving, but one of them's got a fucking cell phone?
But no other character brings this over-the-top humor than my personal favorite character, The Deep. The Deep is just such a funny character every time he shows up on screen. While Homelander is tackling his childhood trauma and Butcher's fighting these demons inside of his head, they cut away to The Deep calling people capybarnias.
You're just a capabarnia.
Or talking to his girlfriend that's a squid, or to singing on stage with Firecracker. And that's only just a few things he's done in season 4. The Deep is just one of the most unserious characters that I have ever seen put on screen. Like when Homelander tells the Deep to blow A-Train and he gets on his knees and tells A-Train sex is just a spectrum, and then Homelander makes fun of the Deep for being such a pushover. Like, it's honestly so surprising how he's made it this far into the show with all the dumb stuff that he's done throughout the show. Like the time he kidnapped a dolphin to save it from captivity, and then when he's in the van with a dolphin, he brakes so hard that the dolphin goes flying through the front window. Or when he gets kicked out of the 7 in season 1 and goes through this breakdown throughout all of season 2 of The Boys, and then starts crying at a kid's water park, which I find hilarious.
You're so alone. You're so goddamn fucking alone.
And then The Deep has his own subplot throughout season 2 where he joins this Scientology-like cult, which is so like The Deep to join a cult and not realize that this is the most obvious cult of all time. Then in the same season, he shows up to stop the boys with this giant whale just for him to do nothing because they just crash into the whale. Like, the situations The Deep is put in are just some of the most ridiculous scenarios I've ever seen that only serve to make The Deep seem even more dumb than he already is. Which is so funny because sometimes The Deep actually tries to do good and they just make it seem so ridiculous and so funny. Like, my headcanon reason to why I think Deep hasn't been killed off yet in the show by Homelander is honestly because I think Homelander kind of has a soft spot for the Deep because he knows he will never backstab him or the Deep will never think for himself. And that is never more obvious when it's season 3 of The Boys, when they have this fake game show to pick these 2 new members for the 7, and they pick Supersonic as their first pick, which was the most obvious pick throughout the show. And then for the second pick, even though they have all these great options in front of them that are all qualified because they got this far into the game show, but instead Homelander chooses the Deep. And even the actor for Homelander, Anthony Starr, had an interview where he said that the reason he thinks Homelander hasn't killed the Deep is because he also thinks he has a soft spot for him too. So my headcanon is not completely insane. But besides that, even though the Deep has all these amazing moments in the show, what takes him to another level for me is that he does so much stuff outside of the show. So if you're unaware, the Boys TV show have this YouTube channel and Twitter called Vought International, which acts as extra stuff from the Boys universe, but all the actors are still in character. And even the comments play along like they're civilians in the Boys universe and kind of act like NPCs in the comment sections. Check it out, it's pretty interesting to see some of these comments and they're honestly genuinely very funny. Like for example, that tweet about season 4 about Firecracker was a real tweet that they posted on Twitter. You can find the account Butcher posted it on Twitter, but even though they make all these different types of videos on the channel, they seem to like the Deep very much. I don't know if the writers really like the Deep because he does a lot of videos for the Vought International channel that you might have seen because they have all become pretty much memes from this channel, like the YouTube video Deep Thoughts with the Deep, where he says this iconic quote:
"My new motto for mental health: real eyes, realize, realize." Sit with that one for a minute.
And so many other dumb quotes that have been memed on the internet. And the Deep does a lot of marketing videos for this YouTube channel, like my personal favorite one where he does this weird commercial for soy sauce and he speaks entirely in Japanese throughout the whole entire video. Or the commercial for Liquid Death where he talks about stopping pollution and then burns plastic bottles in the same video.
And it burns when I breathe.
It's refreshing to do good, so please, keep our oceans beautiful.
And not to mention, Liquid Death sounds so much like a Boys fake product, but it's a real drink that exists in real life. Or the fake movie trailer that the Deep is in that's about him escaping the cult that he was in. The Deep is just such a great addition to the show. I honestly thought he was going to be gone after season 1, but after season 1 they took him into this new direction of a comedic relief of the show, and he has been amazing ever since they took this approach. And I really hope and pray that he doesn't die in this season or the later seasons because I want him to stay stick to the very end because I honestly find him hilarious and I always love his side plots throughout every single season. And honestly, these side plots are some of my favorite parts of the show, just to see the deep into these random shenanigans that he's doing and just having this complete side plot that really doesn't have an impact to the main story. Sometimes it connects, but sometimes he's just off doing weird things. Not to mention the actor for the Deep, Chance Crawford, just nails this role of the Deep and just has such a great personality outside of the show. It's hard not to love him. And there's just so many great scenes about the Deep that I can go on and on and on about how amazing he is in The Boys. But even though I can talk about the Deep forever, I would want to know, what is your favorite moment from the Deep in The Boys show? Is it the dolphin heist moment, which is pretty funny, or is it a more recent moment like the Cappy Barnea scene in season 4? Let me know down in the comments and let me know who is your personal favorite character from The Boys. Mine is always going to be the Deep because I find him so funny, but a lot of people like Homelander, a lot of people like Butcher, a lot of people like Frenchie, a lot of people like Kamiko. The Deep will always be my favorite character, so let me know your guys' favorite character down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoy this video. The least you can do is make sure to like and subscribe. 99% of the people who watch my videos aren't even subscribed. That's a crazy number. Don't be that 99%, be that 1%. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope to see you guys next time. Later, hater. Peace.
If that's not the way to go.